out of the gun. Manning lets it fly. It's caught by Thomas. There's the record for Peyton Manning.
This is our legacy. The stories that we're forever remembered by. The moments that are shared. The history that's been made. You see, here in Bronco country, we know what's expected of us. We've been to the mountaintop before. And we sure as hell ain't going to accept anything less. Now, you just don't get there overnight. Sometimes your body will say, I'm tired. Tell your body to shut up. It takes sacrifice, it takes determination, dedication, resilience, and a hunger that I will not stop until this job is complete. But you've trained your entire life for this moment. You've trained a lifetime to be in this position. It's going to take you looking fear in the eye. It says, not today. Not today. I fear nothing. That's what makes getting to the top sweeter, because you trained a lifetime for this moment, and this moment is now. The stage is set. The nation is watching. The time to rise to the occasion is now. Let's go, Broncos. Let's go, Broncos. Let's go, Broncos.
And welcome, everybody, to another brand new episode of The Neighborhood. I'm your host, Mundungus Creevy, being joined here by Mr. Dave Glassman. We got Isaiah, a.k.a. Pookie Knight, a.k.a. The Dark Knight, a.k.a. My Pookums. We're gonna have some other people jumping in here eventually. We'll see when. I don't know when. We'll see if I even let them in. Now, if you're new here, we want to welcome you to the MHRT Network. We're a group of fan-led, Broncos-based podcasts, and we do our absolute best to fill you in on all things Broncos news while also bringing you some headlines throughout the NFL. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, comment, turn on notifications so that you can get alerted anytime we go live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Now, not only does the network have the MHRT Podcast and The Neighborhood, we also have Broncos Talk, which is on Tuesdays at 7654. And we also have the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast that goes live every Friday at 7654. How we doing, gentlemen? It's game day.
Woo! Shannon Sharp is a good motivational speaker because I was motivated listening. I was ready to suit up and go.
He has really nice teeth.
I'd like to claim credit, but I totally ripped that off from other stuff, so it's all good.
Dave, he has really nice teeth.
He does.
He does have nice teeth.
And he's in great shape still.
That's
He's
awkward.
in great shape still.
Let's swing around the NFL real quick. Get some scores. Right now, I got some football popped up on my TV. We got Tennessee leading the Jets 9-7. We got Kansas City leading the Eagles 21-16. Dallas is now over Carolina 20-14. The Saints are above the Giants 14-10. Cleveland's beating the Vikings 11-7. We've got Chicago beating Detroit 21-7. Buffalo shutting out the Texans 19-0. Indy's got Miami by 17-3, and the Falcons are beating the Washington football team 23-19. But Washington is in the red zone right now, I do believe.
Yeah, so I'm watching the Jets and Titans. My wife's a Titans fan, as you guys know. The Jets aren't bad. So everybody's saying, you look, you guys played. The Jets defense is a top 10 defense, and they've been killing Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. So that wasn't an easy shutout that we did. We're just that much better. And
Zeke just got loose for a big gain. Got him down to the 5-yard line. Which, it's the Cowboys. So, but at the same time, like, you kind of want to see him suck because we got to play the Cowboys. So you're like, yeah, suck it up. Don't play well. Let's see who we got in here. We got Brian Warner. That's a name I have not seen before. Go
Welcome,
Broncos
Brian.
4-0, baby.
What up?
What's up, Brian? Welcome, Brian.
Shadow Jacker, let's go. Shadow Jacker is the host of MHRT In the Dark. Avatar, what's up, Broncos Country? EJ, what's up, Broncos Country? WizKid, Glasgow and Reisner are out. I don't believe Reisner's out, but Glasgow is.
I think so.
Yeah, they both. I saw it. Yeah, they tweeted that they're both out.
Oh, they are out now? Okay.
Yeah, Miners.
So it's going to be Miners and Muti. All right, cool.
M&M's.
All right, so guess what? We just had the Mile High Prophet join us.
Yeah.
So we're going to kick it over to Prophet and see how the tailgate's going on this wonderful, wonderful day. Hey there, Prophet. How's it going?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Hello, testing. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm not hearing you.
We broke it.
You're good.
I'm going to log out and log back in.
Okay.
All right, we'll give it another shot. All right, let's continue on here. We got Albert Knoppers in here. What's up, guys?
What's up, Albert?
I'm not pulling up Dave's because you're sitting right there.
Okay.
Richie says Miners. KB82, what's up, fellas? Ronald Samples, what's up, Broncos Country? So this is it's an interesting game because the first three games went 3-0, but we're facing teams that combined are 0-9. And granted, we were 3 of those losses, so 0-6. So this is an interesting one. This is a test, but we're not sure how big of a test.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's you've been hearing around the league, they want to talk about the Broncos, but we have a lot of injuries from our starters, but they do as well. And as I said earlier on Friday, it's about our defense today. If we can shut down their rushing game, their massive rushing game, we can win this game. David Moore definitely has to step up. Noah Fant definitely has to step up because it's not just about Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton. But I think the most important thing is third down conversions and finishing off in the red zone. If we can finish off in the red zone, we can definitely depend on our defense, and we need to help our defense out. So, yeah, this is a defensive game for us.
We need tight ends to step up. I think we're going to see a lot of blitzes. I think the Ravens are going to blitz us a lot. We're going to need the middle of the field. We're going to need the tight ends to get involved early and often. Of course, the running game, but I think the tight ends are going to be a huge key to this one.
Well, and there's a report from the Denver Post, I believe, I'm going to pull up here after we talk to Prophet, that says that the key matchup is Sternad versus Mark Andrews. I mean, is that going to be a matchup, or is it going to be more of a rotation, like rotating corners, or is it just going to be like a corner or a safety covering an area, and whoever's in that area gets covered?
Well, I think it's definitely going to be Sternad and maybe Bryce Callahan. Because we can't bring a safety up to guard the tight end because we also have to have a spy, or definitely not necessarily a spy, but someone looking out for Lamar Jackson's rushing. I think this is what we drafted Sternad for. This is exactly why we drafted him. Unfortunately, Ronald Darby's out, so this will be Patrick Surtain's duty, which I'd have 100% confidence in. But between the pulling guards and the running game and Mark Andrews, this has to be Sternad's best game of his life. This is really going to come down to him and what we drafted him for. He was injured last year. But he said earlier in the offseason, I need to start doing what they drafted me for. So Justin Sternad, this is your game. You got to fill those gaps, and you also have to cover that tight end. And Bryce Callahan's going to have a big game as well.
Okay. I'm worried about the up-the-middle runs from Lamar. It's been a problem for us. We gave it up to Daniel Jones. I think we did the same thing with I forget that. But we've been giving up runs from the quarterbacks up the middle all year. So that's my biggest. That is my. How about Darnold last year?
I was just going to say that.
I mean, that's my. I am worried about the up the middle quarterback runs. We don't cover it well. You can see it. You know it's coming, and we're not getting adjustments from Fangio or Donatello. That's my biggest concern. As far as Lamar is concerned, I'm not worried about the edges so much as I'm worried about the up the middle.
Well, when it comes up the middle, that's where Mike Purcell and Draymond Jones, Shelby Harris have to collapse that pocket. So when you give them a gap to run, like interior, when you run a man defense and you bail out, the quarterback sees that immediately and he decides to take off, especially with someone like Lamar Jackson. Now, when it comes to the pass rush, our interior defensive line has to collapse that pocket, so that way there is no gap for him to run. And I wouldn't be surprised if Fangio calls up some Alexander Johnson blitzes just like he did last week, where we got Alexander Johnson had 2 sacks. That also, he definitely disguised a coverage going to a blitz, which definitely helps disguise that and stops Lamar Jackson from running, or it doesn't give him a gap to run.
Yeah, so let's go with an injury report real quick. And you guys just updated me on Reiser. I didn't know. I thought he was still – because they had him as questionable because they had limited practice on Friday. But we do know Glasgow's out, so Reisner is now out. Everybody else was limited practice or full practice. Gordon had ribs, lower leg, but he was limited, so he's good. Somebody just dinged on me. Oh, never mind. Andre Mintz, he was limited practice. And Shelby Harris was limited practice, as well as Draymond Jones and Baron Browning. I don't think Baron Browning is going to be in. He was a do not participate in practice on Friday. Draymond Jones was limited practice. So it looks like right now the only ones that are out are Glasgow and Reisner.
Yeah, they're all playing. Melvin Gordon, there was a tweet from Adam Schefter and Zach. Melvin Gordon is battling a ribs and lower leg, but he is playing. But that means that Javonte Williams will be carrying the workload today, I would assume.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that whatsoever. I mean, that's a good issue to have. You have 2 running back tandems that can both carry the load. Melvin Gordon's going to get touches, but I definitely think Javonte Williams is going to carry the load. So we're going to see against that Ravens defensive line whether Miners and Muti can really have a great game, and Javonte Williams can just open up the floodgates. So I have no problem with Javonte carrying the load.
2 hands on the ball, Rook.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the Ravens. We've got the only one. There's 2 that are out for sure, and that's Ronnie Stanley, who's the all-pro tackle that would normally be facing Von Miller. So whoever the backup is, have fun with that.
He's having fun with that.
Alejandro Villanueva, he was limited in practice on Thursday and Friday, but they have him as questionable. I think he'll play. I don't think he'll sit. Derek Wolf is most definitely out. And that's the only ones that I know of that are out. Other than that, I think everyone else is playing.
Rashad Bateman is out. They're not going to play Rashad Bateman.
Okay, Rashad Bateman's out.
Yeah.
Who the heck is he on here?
They've got some key elements missing. So I mean, it's definitely a pile of sand that's building into a mountain. But also Lamar Jackson's not 100% either. Lamar Jackson is coming back from a back injury, so I mean, we've definitely got to make him very uncomfortable. We got to hit him where he's scared to run. Scared to take.
All right, let's try this again. We got Prophet joining us here. Prophet, can you hear us now? You got us?
Yes, I can.
Yay! All right.
Yeah. Hear me.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we can. So how's it going out there? This is a whole different kind of tailgate with a good team coming in here. What's the tailgate looking like?
It is amazing. We, as you may or may not be aware, our tailgate is known for hosting the opposing team's fans. And let me tell you, Baltimore came to play today. We probably got, out of 200 folks at our tailgate today, I'm going to say 50 of them are Baltimore fans. And they've been some really fantastic people. It's been a lot of fun to party with them today.
So what's the mood going around between the fans? We got any hostility going on, or is it we got any like brawls and slap fests?
No, absolutely not. These people could not be nicer. There are just random Baltimore people coming in and out of the tailgate all over the place. It has been a really lovely morning and afternoon. The general feeling here is that this is going to be a close game, and it is going to be decided by a last-minute field goal.
So what's your score prediction?
I'm going to say 23-20.
Ooh. Broncos or Ravens?
Who are you talking to?
I have to ask. I've got to ask.
You see these orange-colored glasses? Have you ever heard me predict a Broncos loss?
No, I haven't. But still, I had to ask anyways. All right, so 23-20 Broncos.
I don't know if I lost you or not. Okay. No, that would be,
Isaiah, he's got your internet. All right, Prophet. Thanks for checking in, bud.
All right, talk.
He's got your internet there, Isaiah. He must have stole it from you.
I was bringing up old stuff.
I was bringing up old stuff. 23-20 Falcons over Washington.
Right now it's Jets 10 over Tennessee 9, but the Titans rushing offense is picking up. They just got 15 yards back to back, so Jets starting to slow down a little bit. Titans starting to pick it up.
Baby getting angry. All right, so let's kind of dig into this game a little bit. So I've got that preview again that we did last week. I've got the Broncos and the Ravens, so we'll play that, and then we'll kind of dig into the game a little bit.
All right, let's do it.
Yep.
The Baltimore Ravens are off to the mountains, and it's not just the Denver Broncos who will be waiting for them. Put some respect on their name. It's the unbeaten Denver Broncos who will be waiting for them, and Teddy Holywater. I think that's what Broncos superfan Brandon Perna calls Bridgewater. But either way, Teddy B looks very comfortable wearing orange and blue.
Steps up into pressure, wide open is Hamler.
Bridgewater didn't throw any TDs against the Jets last week, but he was 19 for 25, yards per attempt over 9, rating over 100, which it's been in all 3 games so far this year.
Bridgewater, tough pass, and it is caught.
Denver's pass catchers, Cortland Sutton, always dangerous.
Bridgewater delivers a strike.
But it's time for more fans to pay attention to Tim Patrick. Dude is sneaky good and more important to their attack than he gets credit for.
Wide open near side is Tim Patrick, and his big day continues.
So what are they up against with Baltimore's defense? Their secondary had given up big yards over the first 2 games, but that was against Derek Carr and Patrick Mahomes. Against Jared Goff last week, they held up much better, and they also sacked him a couple times.
Under pressure, and Goff is going to go down inside the 40-yard line.
All 3 of the teams Bridgewater has faced have gotten to him 2+ times as well.
Aggressive power move, getting up the field and getting the sack.
Denver's run game, not too explosive last week, just 3.3 yards per carry.
Hand off Gordon, and he's going to lose a yard of the play.
And the Ravens don't seem like a team that's going to let them get loose, holding teams under 4 a run in their first 3 games.
This is Swift, and Swift is going nowhere.
Stopping the run, of course, will be more vital to the Broncos, more specifically stopping Lamar Jackson from running. He's still the focal point of their rush offense, more so now that their backfield is beat up.
You can't give him the open field like that.
This is always where we get to the Broncos held the Jets to 3.3 yards per carry. They've held teams under 4 a run for the year.
And at that time, Carter is blown up. And how good has this Denver defense been? It's a loss of 7.
But of course, Zach Wilson is no Lamar, and neither is dual threat Danny, but he's the closest thing they face to a Jackson. He hit him for over 4 a carry and a score. But Denver will have to be just as ready for Jackson the thrower. He aired it out 31 times last week, threw for over 280 yards per attempt over 9.
That is the bread and butter for this offense.
On the flip side, his rating was just 81, and he threw a pick.
Dancing, now throwing. Intercepted!
He was sacked 4 more times, too. That's 8 over his first 3 games.
Under pressure, and goes down.
And Denver could definitely take advantage there. 5 sacks last week, and that was without Bradley Chubb.
Wilson flushed out, sacked.
And then there is their pass defense. They helped pitch a shutout against the Jets, picking Wilson off twice.
There's another pick. This is off a deflection.
And their short season numbers against the pass, some of the best, never mind who they've faced.
Near side, it's picked. Justin Simmons.
Denver should also do everything it can to make sure the game doesn't come down to a last-second field goal either. If Justin Tucker can hit from 66, then I'm willing to bet he could kick one further at Mile High than Uncle Rico can throw a football, which is over a mountain, I believe.
It bounces off the crossbar, and it's good! Oh my goodness!
This is a big test for Denver. The teams they've beat this year, well, how might you say it? They're a little victory challenged. So this is a chance to make a statement. The Ravens are probably happy to have won their hangover game, so to speak, and are ready to play a game without that lingering headache you can get. So I've heard. Scores, predictions, load them into the comments section. I'll load up some here on the screen for you.
All right, so that was Yay, Glenn! I thought that was a pretty good preview of the game there.
Where'd you get that from?
I have my ways.
All
It's
right.
a secret. I can't tell you. Now, I will say this. Yes, the teams that Denver has faced do not have any victories. However, the fact that the Jags hung in there with the Bengals, and we know the Bengals are a fairly decent team. The fact that the Giants are currently winning right now, I believe. Where'd they go? No, they're down 21-10, but they were hanging in there with the Saints there for a little bit. Honestly, I think that the teams that we faced are better than we initially think they are. And the Jets are
better than they think we are.
the Jets are within a score of the Titans. So I'm not sitting here saying that Denver didn't face teams that haven't won anything, but I think the teams we faced are better than people are giving them credit for. And so that's why I was saying on Friday that I think that there's more question marks about the Ravens than there are about the Broncos.
I agree. And if you saw that, the preview you just showed, the main focus was, can Denver stop the pass and the run? He didn't really go in depth about the offense. He said, look, pay attention to Tim Patrick. They have to score in the red zone and third down. It was just basically Teddy Bridgewater and the Broncos offense are doing okay, but the defense needs to step up. So it's always more of a focus on the Ravens. But I think you're right, Mike. It's definitely more questions about the Ravens than it is for the Broncos.
My issue with the whole Broncos haven't played anyone good. They're 0-9. I mean, I've got a few layers to this whole thing. First of all, I think it's the laziest criticism. Secondly, we're responsible for 3 of those 9 defeats. They failed to mention that we're part of that result. Thirdly, we can't pick our schedule. No one say last year when the first 4 games were against playoff teams and we lost. No one said, well, you got to give it to the Broncos. They had a tough schedule. They're like, no, they suck. Right? So you can't have it both ways. What if we had lost one of these last 3 games? What would the narrative have been at that point? So, I mean, that's what makes one of the things about today's game so important, is that just to shut people up and move them on to the next thing. Like we had the whole, like, no one's talking about Drew Lock now. So now we move on to the next thing where the Broncos schedule is weak. And then we move on to the next thing where, maybe this team is good, but so tomorrow's gonna be something else depending on what happens today. So it should be very, very interesting. But I'm a little bit sick of it.
Well, go ahead, Dave.
Sorry, touchdown Eagles.
Oh yeah,
He says some random thing. He
He
doesn't even respond to Glenn.
And I will say,
Great job, Glenn.
like, I saw, I heard
Love the insight.
I heard what Perna called him, which is Teddy Holywater. And honestly,
Teddy Roosevelt. It's Teddy Roosevelt.
If you're gonna put some respect on his name, it's Father Theodore. Thank you, Father
Now
Theodore.
it's Father Theodore Holywater.
It's
Yeah,
Teddy
if it's Teddy
Roosevelt.
Holywater, it's Father Theodore. That's what we're going with.
They got it wrong. Teddy Roosevelt. They've got a T-shirt you can order from Perna's channel. Teddy
Put some
Roosevelt.
respect on his name.
But yeah, Glenn,
I think Dave's getting a commission. He's mentioned it 6 times already.
You're getting a cut.
That guy was wrong. He's wrong.
If we had lost in any of those games, they'd be like, why did the Broncos lose to a terrible team, a non-playoff team? They went 3-12 last year, or whatever they would have said. They would have came up with whatever reason that we would have lost. But yet we dominated all 3 teams, and now it's, they didn't play anybody.
We'd be bottom third.
Well,
I'm ready
it's
I'm ready to just shut it up.
It's like, Denver hasn't played anyone, and then they, we have no idea what Denver is, and then they completely forget about the Packers blowout, their very first game, where they scored 3 points and had the worst offense in the NFL. Nobody mentions that anymore.
Dude, how about the Ravens? Are they close to being 0-3? And I'm not saying they're a lousy team.
It should be.
Far from it. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumble, ill-advised. And then a 66-yard bounce off the crossbar. I mean, give me a break, people. Like, they could be fighting for their playoff lives in this game against the Broncos. So let's put everything into perspective. I've never seen so much negativity around one team, and in probably my entire time of watching this group. It's unreal. I mean, people are just
I say send it. Send it, because I'm tired of hearing it. So when we go out there and we beat the Ravens, I don't want to hear nothing. Well, Lamar Jackson's back was hurting. A few of their players were out. Almost our whole starting offensive wide receiver crew is injured, and a few of our starting players are on defense. But you know what? This is the NFL. They come out and they play and they do the best they can with what they got. I'm tired of hearing it. I know the Broncos players hear it. I know the coaching staff hears it. I know all of Broncos country hears it, and they're hungry. Honestly, the Ravens better watch out because they're hungry, because they're tired of hearing this crap.
Let's put it into perspective too. I mean, the Ravens have an opportunity at an NFL record today, where they have rushed over 100 yards in 42 consecutive games, and that includes the first 3 games of the season when they truly have been decimated. Their injury situation is similar to really what ours was like last year. So
yeah,
I'm not downplaying anything in regards to that. But they've still managed to plug in all these other players and are achieving on the rushing stance too. So, I mean, it's there's a lot on the line here for both teams, and I for one think the Broncos are going to win this game.
Yeah. I do too.
So going back to that Denver Post story that I talked about, this is the one that I kind of found when I was looking for some matchup stats. They had the key matchup as Sternad versus Andrews, which I agree. I mean, we've shown in the past that we've had issues covering tight ends, so I get that. But I had some questions on this one. It says, who has the edge? And then they went like by position group. Quarterback, they have Teddy Bridgewater, Father Theodore, and Lamar Jackson as even, which I would say is I would agree with that by a little bit. I wouldn't say that Theodore and Lamar are on the same like rushing platform, but as far as like the accuracy, being able to throw the ball, I'd give Bridgewater the edge on that one. So I could go with them being even on that one.
I agree.
I'm kind of surprised that Lamar doesn't have the edge. No disrespect to Teddy, but just the fact that Lamar was the MVP just 2 seasons ago and has not had a drop off. I mean, he's fumbled a couple times this year, but so that says a lot for what Teddy's accomplished so far in this far of the season. So,
I think I'd say it's even because Teddy hasn't thrown any interceptions. There are some plays where I watched Lamar where he just threw some blatant bad throws, and the defensive scheme versus Lamar is make him throw the ball. So that's where the Ravens struggle, is receiving yards. And Teddy and the Broncos have more of an offensive balance between running and throwing. So I think that's why they're even. If Teddy could throw the ball like Lamar could throw the ball like Patrick Mahomes, he clearly had the edge.
Well, and these are the two that I'm kind of questioning is running back and receiver. They got running backs going to the Ravens, and receivers is even. And they do have, what did I say? Latavius Murray is their starter now. He's top of the depth chart. And then Tyson Williams, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got Le'Veon Bell as the third string. So I name recognition wise, I suppose I get it, but at the same I don't know. It's tough because the Ravens the Ravens do have the best rushing attack in the game, but again, they played 3 defenses that couldn't stop anything. So
in this article, they mentioned that both of our guards are down, but they don't mention that both of the Ravens tackles aren't playing either. And two of their running backs have torn ACLs, and they're on their third running back, and Lamar Jackson's injured. So that's why I have a problem with that, because, I mean, you mentioned our offensive lineman going down, but you don't mention their offensive lineman. So I'd say, honestly, I'd give the edge to the Broncos. I'd say it's even. But I understand that their rushing attack is good. Yeah,
you're right. We have the edge in running backs. The question is, do you count Lamar Jackson as rushing attack? Is it about running backs or rushing attack? Because if
I think it's straight Lamar, running back,
then we have the edge. No question.
Easily.
Horrible point by the Denver Post.
And then they have receivers and tight ends, and this one I don't agree with at all.
You think we have the edge?
I get that Judy's not in. I get that Hamler's not in. But at the same time, you got Sutton, Patrick. They didn't even put Fant in there. They didn't put Albert O in there. They didn't include David Moore in there. Like, they didn't include half of the other weapons that we have. Like, all they have is Mark Andrews and then Marquise Brown, who's dropping everything that gets thrown his way. So
they didn't. Hey, Mike, you see this comment that
Anaheim Brown?
He said Sammy Watkins is out. I don't know if I can confirm that. Glenn, have you heard anything? Yeah, they said Sammy Watkins is out. Well,
Avatar does not steer us wrong, so I'll double check. But I would think
that's a big deal. That's what is that? Their number one receiver, Sammy Watkins.
He's always had butter hands. I like that.
If Sammy Watkins is out, that's a huge deal.
He wouldn't be their first. He wouldn't be their number one. Hollywood is.
But. Yeah, Hollywood is, and then Sammy Watkins.
I heard he was questioned.
Yeah, he's playing. I don't see why they wouldn't play him. I mean, who else are they going to play if he's not in there?
So it's definitely going to be Mark Andrews, and I definitely think if we don't have to focus on the receivers, if Sammy Watkins is out, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Sternad had some help from the safety on the tight end today, if that's the case. But that's a big deal. And they didn't mention. You said they didn't mention. They mentioned our injuries, but they didn't mention Noah Fant or Alberto or Solbert. So yeah, on the receiver tight end, we easily have the edge. Easily.
Yeah. So I mean, if this was like the Baltimore Post, I get it. But the Denver Post, I don't understand why they're not favoring the Broncos in any of this stuff. I mean, it's not like I'm going to sit here and say that Denver is definitely the better team. But I mean, come on, receiver and tight end, other than secondary, that's our strength. Why are we just even on that?
It was a guest writer. It was James Marilot doing the guest writing on this post.
Oh, well,
who's that?
He doesn't.
I'm just kidding. He's for 104 The Fan. He always is negative. He's awful.
Hey, Dave, that's not true because he wouldn't have even had us even on any of the
on any of these things.
So now they've got offensive line as the Ravens. Now I think that will change, having both of their tackles out. I would assume that would go to the Broncos because it's one thing to have your starting guards out, but to have some good backups. It's another thing to have both of your tackles out going against Miller and Reed. Have fun. I pray
Deanna
you don't
Hendry,
lose your
shout out
job
from Alaska.
after this game.
Hi, Deanna from Alaska. Love you too. Thank you.
And then here, Isaiah, I'll let you take that comment.
Para que algunos no me entiendan hablar español.
¿Qué?
Let me hand that over to a 6'10" Mexican, and we'll see if he can answer the question because I got nothing.
See.
So yeah, I think offensive line would be more of a push, more of an even now with their two tackles out. But at the same time, I don't know because I question Muti and I question Miners, but at the same time, they both have showed a lot of promise. So I don't know how much of a drop off there's going to be, especially with Reisner having not played well this year. I'm not sure how much of a drop off there's going to be with those two in.
Well, Muti's better at run blocking than he is at pass blocking, so that's definitely a question. But that's key to getting our rush game going. Miners, I don't think we've seen enough of him to really know. I know we saw him at center a couple times in the preseason games, and he definitely needed help. My thing is, can he be quick off his feet in that pass blocking with the Ravens have a decent defensive line? That's going to be the question. Is he going to be pushed around, but can he be quick enough to pick up the blitzes and move fast enough and shuffle his feet? So I wouldn't be surprised if they definitely picked on his side with the blitzes.
Yeah. And then defensive line, they've got even. Linebackers are even. Shut your face. Defensive line, okay, maybe. Linebackers, stop it. No. Come on. Just stop it. And they're not talking about just middle linebackers. They're talking outside linebackers too. Just stop it.
They didn't give us. They basically in this article basically said the Ravens are the better team all around.
That's basically what they're saying, which doesn't make any sense. I get that, the Broncos haven't proven that they're the greatest team on the face of the planet, but you're not even going to give us linebackers. It's Von Miller. We can't even have that. You stop it. See, she's mad too.
So I got to tell you, I'm looking at the inactives. I don't see anything about Sammy Watkins, but I'm only seeing 4 Ravens inactives on NFL.com. We got Ronnie Stanley. We got Ardarius Washington, the safety. Deshaun Elliott, the safety. But Tassan Williams, running back, inactive today.
Well, and so they had Sammy Watkins was non-injury related rest on. That's what they had him under. But then they also have Brandon Williams is the same thing, Calais Campbell and Justin Houston. So, and none of them participated in practice on Friday. So are all of them out? Because I'm not seeing where it says Sammy Watkins is out either.
Yeah, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Like Vic Fangio said, I think Dalton Reisner had a good chance of playing, but then he got ruled out. So I have no idea. I haven't seen anything about Sammy Watkins at all. But Avatar, let us know your source in the comments where you heard that or what tweet you saw that from, because I haven't seen any of that.
Especially if it's the same designation for Calais Campbell and Justin Houston, like, please don't let those guys play. Like, I have no problem with them sitting. They can sit all they want.
Please don't let those guys play.
Like, if there's any sort of, like, if they have a headache, like, let them rest. Let them get better, and they can play next week.
Let a COVID positive test come in the middle of the game.
Like Romy said the other day, though, we don't want them too pared down because we don't want to feed into the fire.
I don't care.
The Broncos only won because.
I don't care.
Have you guys gone over the Broncos inactives? I know I jumped in here late, but
yeah, we went over there a little earlier, and that's the only ones that showed that they were inactive was Derek Wolfe and Ronnie Stanley. And that's why I was questioning. And I'm not like Avatar. If you misread, that's cool. Like everybody does, not a big deal. I'm just trying to figure out this injury designation because if
note to self, don't listen to a word Avatar says. Okay, go ahead.
Because if they didn't participate in practice on Friday, there's a good possibility that they're not going to play. But if you've got non-injury related rest, I don't necessarily know that means that they're out. I mean, because they do that a lot for veterans. So in that situation, Houston, Campbell, and Watkins would all be playing.
Which I think they will. I don't think, honestly, they're big ticket guys. I don't think any of them are sitting out. But I don't think it matters. I think the Broncos are hungry enough and they're tired of hearing it from around the league to come out there and just play their game. I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't even a close game and the Broncos win by 10 points. That's me being optimistic. But if we can hold the Ravens under 100 yards rushing this game, which is hard, we can win this game. Injuries, no injuries. We can win this game.
I mean, I even think if we kept them under 150 rushing combined, like the Ravens all rushing, under 150 and kept them to like 175 passing, I think they only scored 7 points.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I'm cool with that.
Brandon McManus outkicks Justin Tuck today.
Extend sense.
Extend sense.
How many rookies start for Denver? We know Miners is going. Surtain's playing. What?
Justin Sternad. No, he's not a rookie. Excuse me.
Who?
Javonte. If
Javonte. I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think 3.
2 on the line. Surtain. Stearns isn't going to start. What about? No, I don't think it's going to be Cooper. Well, are we talking starting or just playing? Because if it's playing, then a good amount. Starting, but 3 or 4.
Javonte Williams, Quinn
Miners. And then Miners, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I would say.
Right? Unless you throw Cooper in there, but I don't think Cooper starts over Reed.
No, not a chance.
No, he's not ready yet. Cooper's not ready yet.
Denver has only played bad teams. Not our fault. That's what the NFL told us to do.
That's true, but we play who we play. We play who it's on the schedule, and if we lose, we suck, and if we win, we still suck according to the rest of the NFL. So this is
beat who you're supposed to beat.
Yeah, this is a big game. So we're supposed to dominate sucky teams, and we're supposed to beat the good ones or play close. So today's going to tell us, and I'm feeling overly confident and optimistic today. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, but we haven't just beaten bad teams or teams that hadn't done well. We dominated them, and in fact, let me just point something out.
No,
looking at the scoreboard with 9 minutes to go, the Jets are beating the Titans 24.
Yeah, I'm watching the game. Yeah, the Titans are struggling with the Jets.
We just kicked their, it's a family show. There's a baby here. There's a baby. Last week, a shutout. So now they're beating the Tennessee Titans, who I think we all would agree is a solid team.
Playoff team over the last couple of years.
A better team.
Another score. The Browns 11-7 over the Vikings presently. Now, again, we're playing the Browns in 3 weeks. Would you say the Browns are a crappy team?
No,
not at all.
So anything can really happen. We dominated these first 3 weeks and put ourselves in a very, very good position. I mean, we're 2 wins away from our total from last year. Yeah. So let's can we enjoy it for like 2 seconds?
No, I mean, everybody's talking about how
absolutely not.
We're 3-0 and we haven't played anybody, but
so what?
Everybody's real quiet about the Chiefs being 1-2.
So well, let me ask you this: Chiefs are up 35-23 over the Eagles. Wouldn't you have expected the Chiefs to with 6 and almost 7 minutes to go? Wouldn't you have expected the Eagles to be beaten worse than that?
Yeah, yes. I mean, they got blown out by the Cowboys really bad, and yet, the Chiefs aren't beating them too bad. I mean, they just went ahead no more than, 10, 15 minutes ago. Well, so, I mean, all these powerhouses are falling. I mean, the Bills fell to Pittsburgh week 1, and now Pittsburgh is complete trash.
Well, so, and even
don't
with the
say
Jets,
that. I think we play them next week, so then we're playing another crappy team. Come on now.
Even with the Jets, like I understand that the Jets are probably the worst, if not the second worst team in the NFL, but still shutting out an NFL team is no small task. Like that doesn't happen very often. So
and we put up 26 points, and they have a top 10 defense. They're literally a top 10 defense, and we put up 26 points on them. So it's not. They're not a walkover. These aren't walkover teams. These are NFL teams. It's just that either the Broncos are that good where we make these NFL teams look bad, or the Broncos suck and they're just worse. And I think it's the latter instead of the former. No, the former instead of the latter.
People need to stop underestimating this defense. I mean, we are so amazing. I mean, look at the Giants game. It was 27-13, and only because Giants scored a touchdown as time expired and there was no extra point. So it could have easily been 23-7. Jacksonville, we give up a touchdown in the first possession. We lose Josie. We lose who else did we lose in that on the defense there? I was on a roll there for a minute. But anyway, we lost we lost Chubb. We lost Chubb. Okay, so and yet we didn't give up any points after that initial touchdown to the offense.
Yeah.
And then last week, no points. I mean, we are an amazing, solid defense that allows for the offense to stay on the field for a while. And if they don't make mistakes, we should be in any single game. I put us up against anyone right now.
I agree 100%. Like up here in secondary, obviously goes to the Broncos. We have the number 1 defense in the league. And
if they put even on that, I'd be writing a letter.
If you watch any game, either the local game or whatever the case may be, when our defense is on the field, the one thing they highlight every single time, every possession, is they say, watch these 2 safeties. They say these are the best safety duos in the NFL. They say it every single time. Single time. So if our defense is that good and our secondary is that good, we can hold the Ravens. We can beat. I agree with Glenn. I put us up against any team right now, and I'm 100% positive we can win or we can be right there with them. 100%.
Yeah. Well, and then they've got special teams going to the Ravens.
You don't have to read that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Denver with the best special teams in the league right now.
Hands down, no question about it. Anybody who says any different is an idiot.
Then they got tail of the tape. So total offense, Broncos at 14th, the Ravens at 4th.
That's a rushing offense.
But again, you got to look at the defenses they've played. Like all of their games, other than the Lions game, was like a shootout, like high scoring in the 30s, high 20s. Like if I understand you're playing good teams, but if you're both scoring in the 30s, like your defenses are trash.
That's what to say. The Ravens are allowing teams to put up great points. Like for example, their pass defense, they're 30th. Points allowed, they're 26th.
85 points. Defense, they've allowed 85 points.
Their total defense is 24th. They're allowing teams to put up points against them. Yep. But they can't stop Lamar Jackson, the rushing offense, which is why their total offense is 4th and their rushing offense is 1st. So they're allowed to stay in the game.
Look at their pass defense ranking. Like we're 3rd, they're 30th. So like if you want to stop the run being ranked 9th, that's fine. But we're just gonna throw it on you. So that's why I think that there's more questions about the Ravens than there are about the Broncos, because you can see exactly where the Broncos rank on everything. They're kind of either close to the top 10 or in the top 10, and the Ravens are just everywhere.
Yeah, I would say they're like a shotgun. They're all over the place. But if you see the Broncos in every category, they're top 15. But specifically, if you go defense, down, second, third, first, for a total of the first or second defense in the NFL, depending on who's taking the stats and who's ranking them.
Well, we were ranked. Oh, go ahead. I say we were ranked second going into this game.
Yeah. So some people have us first in the NFL. Other teams have us second, depending on us in Carolina. But if you look at the offense, 14th, 7th, 12th. So I mean, we're in the top 15. That's that third down conversions and that red zone scoring touchdowns. That's why we're in the top 15 and not in the top 10, top 5. Yeah. But if we can step up and convert on third down or score those touchdowns, we're easily top 7, top 5 team, and our defense wouldn't change. So the Broncos, based on these statistics, based on what we've seen, what we know, Broncos are a top 7 team in the NFL. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. But what we need to do is we need to exploit these numbers for the Ravens and really show them what it means. Like, because the question is, the Broncos haven't gone up against a good team. No. The Ravens haven't gone up against a good team, and we're going to show them what a good team is.
Well, I guess I wouldn't say team, but they haven't gone up against a good defense.
Well, Mike, just to give you an idea, and I don't know, I mean, if our defense shows up as we expect, but looking at the Panthers game today, and I don't know if there has been a defensive touchdown by Dallas or a special teams touchdown, but the Cowboys already have 36 points against the Panthers. If the Broncos defense shows up as we think they will and produces, they should be ranked number 1 all across the board at the end of this week or after this game.
Because if you have a great defense such as the Broncos, or maybe you can say the Carolina or the Buccaneers, it doesn't matter what team you go up against, and whether it's the high-powered Cowboys, the Buccaneers, or no matter who you go against, the rushing offense or the Ravens, your defense is still great no matter who you play. So with Carolina, you can say they have a bad game, whatever the case may be. But if you're Carolina and you have the number 1 defense in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys should have maybe 10 points at this point in the game. Yeah. If your defense is that good, you need to have 10 points. But if you're putting up 36, so the question is your defense a mirage or is it for sure? And we're in the Broncos, I say we're for sure.
And what's missing from this tail of the tape? Sorry, Glenn. What's missing from the tail of the tape is time and possession. There's a reason our passing offense is low because we don't have to throw the ball. We're dominating time and possession. We don't need to play catch up. We're already winning.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the difference. The Ravens play catch up. The Broncos play from ahead. That's a big difference, Dave. Good point.
And I also wanted to point out, like, you're looking at the total ranking of the offense and the total ranking of the defense. That's without Jerry Jeudy. That's without Bradley Chubb. That's without Ronald Darby. Like, that's without our guards being able to start every game. Like, we're missing some key pieces, and we're still ranking. We're still ranking that. Yeah, Josie Jewell. We're still ranking that well.
And I don't think that I mean, unfortunately, Josie Jewell's out. Ronald Darby will be coming back. Josie Jewell's out for the season. I don't think that's going to change. Bradley Chubb's going to be coming back. Malik Reed's in there. Malik Reed had a sack last week. I don't think that's going to change. I mean, that's how good our defense, our starting defense, and our depth is, and that's how good our defense is, and Vic Fangio's play calling is. That's not going to change. Yeah. It's only going to get better when they come back. And our offense is 7th after losing KJ Hamler, after losing Jerry Jeudy. Excuse me, we're still tied 7th. Yeah. That's top 10 offense, and that's with our terrible third down conversions and struggling in the red zone. Still 7th. So imagine David Moore steps up today, and Noah Fant has a huge game, which I think he is, and Albert O, that they didn't even mention. We're putting the NFL on notice today. We're putting the NFL on notice today, and we're going into Pittsburgh next week like a ravenous wolf, like we haven't eaten in days.
I think we have to go back to Dave's point about time of possession, and Romy even said that's not the sexy stat, but that is exactly the stat that we all were hoping for this season. Because what happened last year was our defense was consistently on the field because our offense was making mistakes or 3-and-outs or turnovers, and there was no. I mean, it was flip-flopped last year. So say it was 2-1. This year it's 2-1 in our favor. And when you are able to get the defense rested, when you're able to hold and keep their offense off of the field, and still score points while you're having these long 12, 15 play drives, it's almost impossible to lose at that point because you've put yourself in such a position and you've kept them off of the field that if you don't make a mistake and you hold on to the ball for any length of time, your chances of winning are just going to be astronomical, and we're seeing that already.
Yeah, we're first in the NFL in time of possession. Ravens are second. Ravens are second, but to me, that's a false second. That's a almost
false second.
I mean,
that's a lie.
They're converting on fourth. They're converting on 4th and 19.
Anytime I mean, number 2 next to Lamar Jackson, it just reminds me of his cramp game. But then.
So I mean, if you're converting on 4th and 19, or you're putting your offense is put in a position where you are on 4th and 19, you're going to you're going to be on the field that much longer. And if you shut down that rushing game, if their running backs can't get going, if Lamar Jackson can't rush, or you put a spot on him, or you're still in the edges, you're off the field that much quicker. We want Lamar Jackson to throw the ball. Justin Simmons is back there licking his lips, wanting him to throw the ball. I mean, that time of possession.
That sounded a little.
So it's going to be a good, interesting game. I think these teams are pretty evenly matched. I just give Denver just the edge because I think our offense, I think our defense is better than our defense. I think our offense is
better than their defense.
Well-rounded anyway. Yes. We're well-rounded.
Well-rounded. We're more well-rounded than they are.
Yeah. Well, so they've got, by the numbers, plus 50. That's the point differential in Denver's 3-0 start. Like, I don't care who you are. That's a big differential. Like 50 points from everybody else.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's a lot.
That's impressive.
And then they had, so everyone that wrote the story that's on the writing team basically predicted the Broncos are going to win. But in a close game, like 24-23, 24-17, 2014, 23-21. So, yeah.
I agree. Go back to, so one thing they didn't put on there for the numbers is the turnover differential this year, which is what Vic Fangio harped on. This is why he got Kyle Fuller and he got Ronald Darby. He said last year, we didn't get the turnovers that we wanted. This year, our point differential is +3, and now we're 3rd in the NFL. We have more turnovers than we turn the ball over. I think we've turned the ball over, twice this season? I think we've had 2 fumbles, Alberto and Javonte Williams. So we've only had 2 turnovers. I think we have, 5 interceptions?
Yeah, I think we're +5 on turnovers, aren't we?
+3.
+3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see that.
I think we have 4 or 5 interceptions in the first 3 games. 5 sacks. No. That's just Von Miller by himself. I think we have 8, 9, 10 sacks. So 9 to 10 sacks in the first 3 games, and 5 interceptions in the first 3 games. This defense is ridiculous. This defense is incredible. So Glenn, you're right. This defense is. I'll pick this defense over any defense in the NFL. This defense is incredible, and all of our players aren't even there.
KB82 is asking how we think Teddy's going to play today.
I've got the predictions for you right here. So Mike said Teddy Bridgewater will be 29 of 35, 284 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Exactly 284 yards.
Avatar said 82%, 250 yards, and what did he say? 2 touchdowns, and I think he said 1 rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we got here. Dave Glassman said 80%, 225 yards, and 1 touchdown. So that's the prediction. I do not have Glenn's.
I'll do 23 of 31 for 308 and 3 touchdowns. 1 interception, though. 1 interception.
Hey, you stop that dirty talk.
You notice nobody's ever predicted interception? No, we don't want that. You said 23 31, 300 and how many yards? 8?
308, 3 touchdowns.
I will say this. I know that at some point Teddy Bridgewater is going to turn the ball over, whether it be an interception, fumble, whatnot. I just don't think that the secondary of the Ravens has the juice to pull off an interception. I just don't.
Speaking of the bad teams, go ahead, Glenn.
I was going to say the interception I foresee would be on a tipped ball of some sort, maybe a drop.
Something that's not like a bad throw to a receiver. KB82, writing it down, baby.
And Dave, you don't have to talk like this into the mic. We can hear you.
He said 4 TDs. Wow.
Dave just told me I was able to move about the cabin, and we're at 30,000 feet.
So, Ken, is that all passing, or is that like a mix of passing and rushing? That's what I want to know.
He's basically carrying the offense, carrying
Sure,
your
it's
team
all
at that
passing.
point in time. So right now, just so you guys know, I'm watching the Titans and the Jets. Zach Wilson in the second half has really come into his own and got into a rhythm. They're up 24-17. They just got the ball back with 3 minutes left in the fourth. So it's looking like the Jets are going to beat the Titans.
And another one of the bad teams we beat, the New York Football Giants, are tied with the Saints with 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So that awful team that we beat is somehow neck and neck with the Saints.
Well,
I don't know how it's happening.
so sorry, I scared the baby. So if you're looking at a normal NFL season, on average, I would say it takes 3 games in order for a team to get their identity figured out. So now we're starting to see those teams that are terrible teams that we played that are starting to figure it out.
Yeah, it took them the first half. They couldn't get anything going, but once they got Zach Wilson into a rhythm, he really started to show what he could do at BYU. So the Titans have been a playoff team the last 2 years.
Agreed.
They picked off Tom. They were Tom Brady's last play, and yet they're beating the Titans right now. So they're beating a playoff team, and yet they got shut out by us. So I mean, we're just kind of we're obviously Broncos apologists or whatever the case whatever you want to call it, but
enthusiasts.
Whoa,
enthusiasts,
Whoa.
Broncos enthusiasts.
Apologists. Hello.
Hello. 64646.
Hello. 64646464666. Whoa, that's bad. 464.
That's why I stopped.
I didn't. Okay, so let's pull out our score predictions, and then we'll take another quick recap over the scores, and then we'll head out so we can catch this game.
Okay, Mike's score prediction was 21-18.
Yeah, because somebody said 21-17. I was like, screw you, I'm going 21-18.
This isn't Price is Right, by the way, Mike.
I said that on Friday. Dave Glassman's prediction was 17-13. Interesting. Avatar's prediction was 24-15. My prediction was 23-28, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, 27-17. Cortland Sutton has 1 touchdown. Noah Fant has 2 touchdowns. So that is my score prediction. Glenn, what is your score prediction?
31-24.
What are you doing now? Chilling?
Nothing.
Chilling.
31-24.
Pulling is leading us up to the "What are you wearing?" question.
That's what I'm waiting for.
EJ says 27-17. See, I like that, EJ, because I think the Broncos. I don't think the Broncos can win by a field goal. I think the Broncos can win.
You ready to? You want to have a good time? Whoa, okay.
A link's gonna pop up in the comments.
Yeah. Turnover differential is Denver +3 and Baltimore -2.
So Baltimore turns the ball over more than they get turnovers. I'm telling you guys, do not be surprised if we win by a decent margin. Baltimore turns the ball over. But I guarantee you going into this week, they told Lamar, if you cannot get the ball downfield, hold on, 24-17. The late field goal by the
67 yards.
I would absolutely love that.
I wonder if the NFL record books would break that down into like half yards. So he goes for a 66.5 yarder just to get the record.
Glenn, I have a confession. I may or may not saw your tweet, and I may or not.
I know.
Yeah.
I may or may not have known that. I wonder if Poland is Urban Meyer's burner account.
Hey, what's that defense that they ran? So we said with a late field goal. Yeah, but I was like I said, Baltimore turns the ball over, and I guarantee they're telling Lamar Jackson, if it's not fair, do not force it down the field because this team will make you pay and they will get the ball back because our secondary is elite. I think on offense they're going to pick on Justin Sternad.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to pick on Patrick Surtain. Do we think he's earned it yet?
No.
At this point, I don't really know if it's going to matter if you pick on him or not, because the way I think that the defense is going to play is it's going to be Surtain with some help over top. So I don't really know if it's going to matter if they pick on him or not. I don't think there'll be a need to. And then one thing I did want to say about the kickers, like we're not sitting here saying they're going to game plan for McManus to kick a 67-yard field goal. The only way that that's going to happen is one, if we're way ahead and it doesn't matter, or two, if it's a very close game and we have to win the game, and the only way to do that is a 67-yard.
Could you imagine this game?
But it's not like we're sitting here going, hey, after a play action, we're going to get it to a 67-yarder and then we're going to kick it. Like, that's not a thing.
This game is just field goals and Justin Tucker and
they just keep backing it up a yard every time.
67 and Justin Tucker goes 68 and then
right here's 68. Here's the 69. Well, here's the 70.
You think they would break the announcers? The announcers would just fizzle out and just.
I think people would just be like, "All right, we're done. We're not watching this game anymore."
Anybody know announcers? What? Announcers.
I never listened to them, so I don't care.
It might not be the third string announcers today.
Unless it's Romo. Like, I love Romo.
We won't get him today.
So I would almost guarantee that McManus has had a conversation with any coach that will listen to him.
It's like, hey, give me a shot.
He probably even had his helmet in his hand at the team hotel. I'm ready.
I'll kick it from here. Like, let's go.
I do want to quantify my immediate no on has Surtain earned it, and I don't think so, just because he's only 3 games into his career.
Yeah.
But I do foresee them picking on him, and he's gonna get an interception. I mean, I can totally see that happening today, and that's what's gonna make them maybe back off or
like, okay, let's go to Cal Fuller's side. No, that's not late. Is there another door?
Broncos defense will get 3 sacks on Lamar. I hope so. That would be.
That's an accomplishment, man. I mean, that guy,
if we're getting 3 sacks on Lamar, I guarantee one of those is a fumble.
Yeah, because we need to hit him. We need to make him scared to run. And man, the Jets are looking good. We need to make him scared to run.
Calm down.
And scared. I
don't know about good. They look better.
We just want them to beat the Titans.
They look better. I don't know about good.
Yeah, my wife's not here, so I can talk as loud.
And the Giants and the Saints are tied at 21 right now. All right, so let's do a quick run around of scores, and then we'll hop off here and get going. Stop showing me the red zone. I want to see the score. Stupid thing. All right, so we have the Jets over the Titans 24-17. The Chiefs over the Eagles 35-23.
No, Cowboys 42-23 now.
You stop it. God. The Cowboys over the Panthers 36-21. The Saints over the Giants 21-18. I just said that was 21-21.
Mike, I think you've got some older ones.
I'm on NFL.com right now.
No, it's late, dude. It's they're
You're late.
No, I was late. ESPN actually has the current. I was on
ESPN has the good ones. I want Cowboys to lose because I'm so tired of hearing.
Cowboys are 36-28 against the Panthers right now. Falcons are 30-28 with under 2 minutes to go over Washington, and Washington has the ball. Bills killed the Texans 40-0.
Oh my God!
Colts polished off Dolphins 27-17.
Wait, what'd you just say?
They polished them off.
What was the score?
27-17 Colts.
No, the previous one was 40-0. The Bills
40 you said 40-0, right?
Yeah, over the Texans
game.
Okay, so the shutout thing I said, I take that back.
Okay, so the Browns are up 14-7 over the Vikings. 21 seconds left. Vikings have the ball, 3rd and 10 at the Minnesota 49. So that's interesting. Giants Saints are tied at 21. Jets are up 24-17 over the Titans with under 2 minutes. Tennessee has the ball almost at midfield. Chiefs are going to beat the Eagles. It's presently 42-23 with just over a minute. Bears beat the Lions 24-14.
Oh, we got a troll.
We have some early games now.
Lamar is going to make you guys look like fools. Yeah, he's going to show us. He's going to show us how to leave the game and go take a crap mid snap. That's what he's going to do.
Hey, Joe H, we're screenshotting this because we want to see the game.
And he just might.
But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. I'm trying to think back in the history of the Broncos of which quarterback had left the game to go take a crap and not come back for a quarter. Hold on. Oh, that'd be none. Okay, so that's about what we're going to get to. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up so we can go. We can. Yeah, I saw that. Take a dump and still come back and win, though.
He did He did.
I got
Thanks
that.
for
I got
joining
that.
in at the end of
That's a good one. I got that.
Yeah, Joe, we appreciate the friendly competition. We appreciate it. Well, you know we have a bias though, so we know who's going to win this game, Joe.
Oh, I'm not going to pull that one up. So yeah, that's going to about do it for us. We went through the scores, went through who we think who's going to win. Do we got a player of the game? Anybody with a player on the game?
Justin Sternad.
Oh,
Watch that neck there.
Jiminy Christmas.
I never thought I'd have to give fatherly advice to
Jeez.
Mike.
Apparently, Mandy does all the
She
work.
was tucked under my chin and just like,
The defense, Justin Sternad. Offense, David Moore.
Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one. But I think I'm going to pull out Tim Patrick.
I was going to go Timmy P on offense.
Or David Moore.
And I'm going Von Miller on defense, man.
I'd say I'd say obviously Von Miller, but I'd say Justin Sternad because he's the most important guy today in regards to run defense and guarding the tight end.
Yep. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for us. We're going to head out so we can catch these games and then tune into the Broncos game and watch the Broncos beat the Ravens because Joe jinxed it. So, no.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it, Joe.
Thanks for jinxing it. I love it.
Joe who?
Exactly. Joe H. So we're gonna head out so we can catch those games. We want to thank you so much for joining us on The Neighborhood. Don't forget that we do still have other shows on the network. On Tuesdays we got Who's Laughing?
That's the boy child. I don't know what he's laughing.
He's laughing at Joe H. On Tuesdays we got Broncos Talk at 7654. On Joe Mama, stop it. On Thursday we got the MHRT Podcast at 7654. And then on Fridays, we got the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast at 7654. So make sure you're tuning into those. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the notifications, turn those on. That way you know anytime that we go live or anytime we post some content. We will see you guys later. We're going to head out so we can catch these games. Bye, everybody.
Go Broncos, baby. Let's get that win.